Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that everything you have ever experienced, your memories, your relationships, your sense of time and space, is not real, but rather part of a computer simulation.
It sounds like science fiction, something straight out of the Matrix.
Yet, in recent years, the idea that we may be living inside a vast, complex simulation has gained serious attention, not only in popular culture but also among philosophers, scientists, and technologists. This concept is known as the simulation hypothesis. The simulation hypothesis suggests that our reality, the entire universe with its galaxies, stars, and laws of physics, might be nothing more than a sophisticated digital construct. If true, then everything we perceive as real is essentially information, bits of data processed by unimaginable computational power. While this might sound far-fetched, many thinkers argue that the probability of living in a base reality is actually smaller than we assume. Why has this idea gained traction? Advances in technology have shown us just how far humanity has come in creating artificial realities. Virtual reality headsets, hyper-realistic video games, and AI-generated worlds are just primitive steps compared to what future civilizations could accomplish. If we can already build simulated environments today, imagine what might be possible in thousands or millions of years. The hypothesis forces us to rethink fundamental questions. Who are we? What is reality? Is free will an illusion if our universe is programmed? And if we are in a simulation, who or what is running it? In this script, we will explore the origins of the idea, the philosophical debates, the modern scientific arguments, technological evidence, and the profound spiritual implications of the simulation hypothesis. Whether you see it as science, philosophy, or a metaphor for human existence, one thing is certain: the possibility that we live in a simulated reality changes the way we see everything. Philosophical origins, from Plato to Descartes. The simulation hypothesis may sound like a product of modern computing, but its roots stretch back thousands of years into philosophy. Long before computers, philosophers questioned the very nature of reality. One of the earliest examples comes from Plato's allegory of the cave. In this famous story, prisoners are chained inside a dark cave, only able to see shadows projected on a wall. For them, those shadows are reality because they know nothing else. But in truth, the shadows are mere illusions, pale reflections of the real world outside the cave. Plato used this metaphor to show that humans often mistake appearances for reality. If we apply this to the modern world, our entire universe could be the shadows, an artificial projection designed to keep us unaware of a deeper truth. Centuries later, René Descartes wrestled with similar questions in his Meditations on First Philosophy. Descartes famously asked how we can trust our senses, since they are sometimes deceived. He imagined an evil demon who could manipulate all his perceptions, making him believe in a false reality. This thought experiment mirrors today's simulation hypothesis. Instead of a demon, perhaps it's an advanced civilization's computer system controlling what we see and experience. Philosophy has always grappled with questions of reality, illusion, and truth. Eastern traditions also contribute to this discussion. In Hinduism, for example, the concept of Maya describes the world as an illusion, a deceptive appearance that hides ultimate reality. Similarly, Buddhist philosophy often speaks of reality as impermanent and constructed by the mind. What unites all these perspectives is the recognition that our experience of the world may not be the ultimate truth. What feels concrete and undeniable could, in fact, be a facade. The simulation hypothesis simply updates these ancient philosophical insights with modern technological language. Thus, the philosophical origins of the hypothesis remind us of something profound. The question, what is real, has haunted humanity since the beginning of thought. Our modern idea of a simulated universe is not entirely new. It is the latest version of an age-old inquiry. Nick Bostrom's argument, the modern simulation hypothesis. In 2003, philosopher Nick Bostrom from the University of Oxford introduced one of the most famous modern arguments for the simulation hypothesis. His reasoning was not based on science fiction, but on logic and probability. Bostrom's paper, Are You Living in a Computer Simulation?, shook the academic world because it presented the possibility of simulation in a rational, structured way. Bostrom argued that at least one of the following three propositions must be true. Civilizations never reach a level of technological maturity capable of running simulations of reality. In other words, humanity and other civilizations may destroy themselves before achieving such power. Advanced civilizations that do reach this level are not interested in creating simulations of conscious beings. They may have ethical reasons or simply lack motivation. We are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. Why does he say this? Because if advanced civilizations can run simulations, and if they do choose to run them, the number of simulated realities would vastly outnumber the single base reality. That means, statistically, it's far more likely we are inside one of the many simulations rather than the one true reality. This argument has been taken seriously not only in philosophy but also by prominent figures in science and technology. Elon Musk, for example, has publicly stated that he believes the odds of us living in base reality are 1 in billions. Critics, however, argue that Bostrom's logic assumes too much about the future of technology and consciousness. Some say that simulating conscious beings may be impossible, no matter how advanced computers become. Others argue that even if possible, it doesn't mean advanced beings would choose to do it. Still, Bostrom's trilemma forces us to confront the possibility logically. If future civilizations are anything like us, curious about history, culture, and human experience, why wouldn't they run countless simulations of their ancestors? If so, then we are far more likely to be digital beings in a simulated reality than physical beings in base reality. Scientific and technological clues. Science and technology provide intriguing hints that support the simulation hypothesis. Consider how rapidly computers have evolved. Just a few decades ago, video games were pixelated and simple. Today, we have hyper-realistic virtual reality, AI-powered simulations, and vast digital environments indistinguishable from real life. Now imagine technological progress in 1,000 years. Entire universes could be simulated with incredible precision. Some scientists suggest that the very fabric of our universe hints at digital construction. The laws of physics operate with mathematical elegance, almost like lines of code. Quantum mechanics, for example, describes reality in probabilistic terms, as if the universe only renders outcomes when observed, similar to how a video game generates graphics only when a player looks at them. Other researchers point to the concept of the Planck length, the smallest measurable unit of space, as evidence that the universe is not continuous, but pixelated like a digital image. If reality is made of discrete bits, perhaps we are living inside a computational grid. There are also strange glitches that people report in everyday life: déjà vu, strange coincidences, and inexplicable phenomena. While these can be explained by psychology, some see them as cracks in the simulated fabric. At the cutting edge, scientists like Silas Bean have proposed ways to test the hypothesis. Bean suggested that if our universe is simulated, it may leave detectable patterns, such as limits in cosmic ray distributions that hint at an underlying grid. While none of these clues prove the hypothesis, they highlight how our reality sometimes behaves in ways that resemble digital simulation. As technology advances, the line between simulated and real experiences becomes increasingly blurry. The question then arises: how would we even know if we were in a simulation? Spiritual and existential implications. If we are living in a simulation, what does that mean for our existence, our souls, and our sense of purpose? For some, the idea is terrifying. It suggests that our lives are artificial, controlled, and meaningless. But others see it differently. In many ways, the simulation hypothesis mirrors spiritual traditions. If there is a programmer or creator of the simulation, that figure resembles the concept of God in many religions, an intelligence beyond our comprehension, designing the rules of our reality. Instead of a divine plan, we might be following coded algorithms, but the idea of a higher order remains. The hypothesis also raises questions about free will. Are we making real choices, or are our decisions predetermined by the code? This echoes age-old theological debates about predestination and fate. Even if we are programmed, does that negate our lived experience? Many argue no, our choices still feel real, and our emotions still matter, whether or not they are simulated. Spiritually, the hypothesis can even be empowering. If reality is an illusion, as Buddhism and Hinduism have long taught, then what truly matters is consciousness itself, the awareness behind the illusion. In this view, waking up to the possibility of simulation is another step toward enlightenment. Existentially, the simulation hypothesis challenges us to ask, what is the purpose of life if it is simulated? Perhaps the purpose is the same as it would be otherwise: to live fully, to love, to learn, and to grow. Whether digital or physical, the experience of being alive is still profound. We have explored the simulation hypothesis from philosophy, science, technology, and spirituality. From Plato's cave to Bostrom's trilemma, from quantum mechanics to the possibility of cosmic programmers, the idea pushes us to question the very foundation of existence. So, are we living in a false reality? The truth is, we may never know for certain. But perhaps the answer matters less than we think. Whether reality is simulated or not, we still wake up each morning, we still love, we still struggle, and we still create meaning in our lives. Instead of fearing the hypothesis, we can use it as inspiration. If reality is coded, then life itself is the ultimate game. Our mission is to play it well, to live with purpose, kindness, and curiosity. Backhand index pointing right. If this video made you think differently about reality, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others. Leave a comment. Do you believe we are in a simulation? Why or why not? Remember, whether real or simulated, this is the only life we know, so live it fully.